Hey, what's up everybody? Nick Underhill for NewOrleans.Football, and you're watching The Dot presented by Matt Bowers Auto Group. It's Friday, so that means it's time for another mailbag, and as always, you can ask questions through our Twitter community. If you are a member of the website, get in there, ask questions. You can interact with other Saints fans and get your questions here on this video every week. So this week, our first question comes from Jeremy Simpson, who asks, what is the likelihood of Davenport being ready for week 1? Right now, it doesn't look like there's any need to be concerned about September. Davenport's around the team. He's moving around. He isn't casted up or bandaged anywhere other than on that amputated finger. But everything else looks like it's heading in the right direction. And everything that we've heard about him to this point sounds positive. And that's obviously a huge thing for this team. When he's healthy, the defensive line is at a completely different level. And it's not just him. He impacts the way David Onyemata plays, the way Cam Jordan plays. So when he's out there, the whole defense is better. So that is a major story to monitor moving forward. But right now, it does not look like there is any reason for concern. Our next question comes from Kevin Sims, who asks, there's been a lot of speculation about Alontae Taylor challenging and possibly beating Adebo at outside corner. If that happens, could Adebo challenge Chauncey Gardner-Johnson at slot? Or are his skills strictly built for the outside? Could Taylor play slot if Adebo stays at cornerback 2? What about Roby? I think at some point down the line, it's definitely possible that Alontae Taylor could play in the slot. He has the skill set to move around. His hips are very fluid, so he can make the quick twitch movements needed to keep up with smaller, faster slot wide receivers. But I think for this upcoming season, it's probably a really safe bet that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson will be in that role. Now down the road, that remains up in the air. Gardner-Johnson's entering the last year of his contract, and he's going to want to be paid commensurate with his skill set, which means something near the top of the market. So we'll see if they can figure that out. If they can't, I think at some point, yes, Adebo could move into the slot. And I think Roby overall is somebody that people need to keep an eye on. He is a really good cornerback. He provides really good depth. And I think there's just going to be really good competition all the way across the board at those cornerback spots, particularly though on the outside. I do think Paulson Adebo has the inside track, but these guys are talented enough that you need to keep the door open for any possibility. And our last question comes from Mike, who asks, who is in the tightest roster battle, Zach Bond, Calvin Throckmorton, or Daniel Sorensen? I personally think that the tightest battle here for these guys among these three probably is Zach Bond. I think he has to do something to show that he needs to stay on this team. I think he's kind of at that point, year 3, where he has to show what he's capable of doing, and some of that is going to have to come on defense to justify having that roster spot. And when there's maybe 11 defensive backs that deserve to make the team, you need to show that you need to be that linebacker that can contribute on the field and on special teams. So I think this is a big offseason for him. I think that puts him probably in the tightest battle, although either of the other two guys could end up on the wrong side of a roster crunch. So there's no easy ways onto the roster further down the list. That does it for this week's mailbag. As always, we appreciate you guys supporting, and keep it locked to NewOrleans.Football.